Alright, and welcome to Kevin Hill's iRacing training series. Today I'm going to go through a little bit about the Club Sport steering wheel and share with you a little bit of how my setup is configured so that you can either use or benefit from it. So the first thing that I'll share with you is the control panel for the Club Sport wheel. One thing that's very interesting about the Club Sport wheel is that it detects what wheel is installed and will change pictures accordingly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and remove the rim that I currently have on the wheel, and we'll see it change out. So I'm pulling the wheel off right now. That immediately tells you, that, hey, you don't have a wheel installed, we're not going to talk to you. Come back when you're ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and put on the BMW rim, which, by the way, for compared to the Porsche rim, is a much more heavy product. There you go. You can see there that it changes the picture of the rim, which is I think, very cool. I'm going to go ahead and pull the BMW rim off, and we'll go ahead and pop the Formula 1 rim on. And I do store these with the pins in place, I believe. I could be wrong, but I do believe that it protects the ball bearings in there from pressure as these products sit. And there you can see that when I install the Formula 1 rim, the picture changes. So let's go through the settings here real quick. So Rev LED test goes ahead and tests the LEDs on your steering wheel. You can do a display test, which lights all of the LEDs and decimal points in the numeric area. Force feedback test. Yeah, that's the steering wheel going and doing a heavy test of the force feedback. It is quite strong. The V2 has at times moved so much that it's definitely concerned me about damaging someone's weak wrists or things like that. Not a bad thing, just something to be aware of. And having that extra force does play nicely with iRacing. Vibration test, just a small, subtle vibration. And, of course, you can see here the steering wheel going back and forth as you run through it. And going back to center. Now, coming to the settings, here's a screen I always come to when I put a wheel on. I immediately go in and change it to 900 degrees. I like running it full range, and then I change dampening to 0. I map the sequential shifter to the shifter paddles. That way, when I have my sequential shifter installed, the paddles and the sequential shift are mapped to the same thing. Otherwise, iRacing will have some difficulty mapping it back and forth. Your screen here, the Fanatec Wheel properties. This is where you can check and update your firmware. Here, you can see the versions that are installed on the actual device itself. And on the final screen, mouse settings is kind of an interesting screen. Typically, the mouse emulation, which is used by the joystick on the left side of the wheel, is a button that I just don't use, or a feature that I just don't use, so it's kind of a wasted feature. However, you can emulate the mouse with it, so you can do things in game, using it as the mouse. So I have it set right now here, so the hotkey button is number 7, the red button here on the Formula wheel. And when I press that button, it is going to emulate the mouse. I'm taking my hand off of my mouse, the traditional mouse on my Abuto cockpit, and I'm clicking the red button. You can see everything kind of enabled. And now I'm just using the joystick. And diagonals, back and forth. I can go in and turn this off if I wanted to, which I will do here in just a sec. You can see it jumps around a little bit, so you can adjust the speed, but I'm going to push the button, and their emulate mouse is now turned off. If I clicked apply, it would actually do that. So now I'm coming back to the mouse, disable the button there, the joystick doesn't move the mouse anymore. So, an interesting feature for you guys that you can use on all of the wheels that at least I have, which is the Porsche rim, BMW, and the F1 rim, and can provide you some in-game use of the mouse while keeping your hand on the wheel. Kind of an interesting little feature. So one of the things that people ask about in using the Fanatec wheels is how noisy are they? And you know, one of the things I do notice is the wheels do have different volumes of the shifters, and when you're broadcasting, streaming, or communicating over TeamSpeak, it's important to kind of realize that some wheels are noisier than others. So to capture that for you guys, I wanted to put my microphone up close to where I typically have it, and then just do some shifting, so soft, medium, and hard, and you guys can feel or hear what you know, what each wheel is like. So the Porsche rim, very light, nice quality leather, a nice orange stripe at the center, and then your LED displays in the center as well, along with a small gear indicator here. So the sound of the paddles just shifting quietly, medium, and then when you're driving and really slamming it in there, and that's the Porsche rim. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this one off, and we'll go to the BMW rim. Slide this on. By the way, this wheel is significantly heavier than the Porsche rim, and what you'll notice is that the force feedback is slowed down by the inertia of this. This is an Alcantara leather, very nicely done. One of the things that I do notice is that if my hands get sweaty, I don't like the thought of, you know, my sweat getting into the Alcantara and turning it white with salt. That's just me. So it is a concern. Also, along the edge of the wheel itself, you can see where they've merged the Alcantara with two pieces, and it feels to me like a failure point. It hasn't at this point, and I've used this wheel, you know, quite a bit. So, you know, kudos to Fanatec for that. But it just makes me feel like that's a point where it can peel up, and then I'm gonna have to reapply it or something. More psychological, I think, than anything else. The gear indicator here is quite a bit bigger than the Porsche rim. The LEDs here are smaller than the Porsche rim. Nice BMW badge. So this wheel softly shifting, medium, and slamming it. And you can see this wheel's mechanism is quite a bit quieter. So you know, if you're broadcasting or people are listening, or you have TeamSpeak set up, this one probably won't be as annoying as the Porsche rim when you're shifting. Let's go ahead and switch to the Formula One rim. This one is very light and small, so it really can accentuate the shifting forces, or the force feedback forces of the wheel. A big display here, similar to the BMW rim, and large shift light LEDs, and the colored buttons across there. So softly shifting, medium, hard. You can see this one as well sounds different. So there you go, the sounds of the shifters. And if you're using one of these wheels and broadcasting, you may get some comments on the sound of the shifter paddles. But there you go. Hope that helps. Alright, and welcome back. Now we're in iRacing, and there's some simple settings that you want to do when you're in here, and I'm going to go through and describe my understanding of each of the settings that can affect your steering wheel. So you can see here I'm calibrated, and when you come into iRacing with a new wheel, or perhaps you change the USB port, it is going to force you into the steering setup screen. What you're going to want to do here is follow the directions, obviously, and go through and just you know, do what it says. So here, turn wheel fully one way or and the other. Just go all the way from stop to stop, and then come back to the center. Once you're at center, click done, and now it's going to take and measure the range of your steering wheel. You're going to go to the 90-degree mark. I'm going to go right here. What this is doing is it's giving you an estimate of what it thinks the full range of your wheel is. Don't worry if it doesn't quite match the 900 degrees or whatever it is. It, you know, if you didn't force the wheel to the full stops, you will have a little bit of range back there. So for instance, if I go back here and I really go in and get it all the way over to the full stops right there, okay? and then go all the way over to the other side and get it to the full stops. Now come back to the center. Okay. Now with the Fanatec, you have a soft stop and you have a hard stop. The soft stop is kind of the wheel itself telling you that you're very close to the physical limits of the wheel. Then the hard stop, you'll feel it. It's a very firm stop and mechanical feeling. Now if I go to the 90-degree range right here, you can see that it is getting much closer to the 900 degrees that I would expect. So I'm going to go ahead and say right there, which is about where I want it. Done. And now done. And leads. Yeah, Fana LEDs. What this is it's a software that basically allows you to customize or change what's going on with your LEDs for various things like the Sim Instruments dash, the Fanatec Wheel LEDs, and shift lights, and so forth. And it's a good piece of software. You should use it if you like it. Donate, support their efforts. It's a good piece of software. So we'll go ahead and start this software up, and you can see it right here. And what this software does is it allows you to change what's going on with the system and various pieces of equipment that you have with the Fanatec products. So it's very simple. It's just a piece of software that you launch, and it goes through a little test pattern on your wheel, and lets you customize various things. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the brake pedal effects because I don't have Fanatec pedals. Right here you can see you can rumble the wheel when brake lock is detected. You can rumble when you need to upshift, so you get some not only light but some tactile feedback when you need to do some shifting. Here you can set your upshifts, pit limiter, how it flashes, your RPM percentage, when your RPM LEDs start lighting up. You want to go metric or not, and then you can go in and you can start doing some advanced settings. So you go over here. I have a Sim Dash from Sim Instruments. So you go in here, choose your wheel, and now you can start going in and setting up various different things for the LEDs that you have across your device. And these can be things as simple as yellows, what your gears are going to be, and various things like that. So here I'm going to go in and take a look at the speed gear here, and I'm going to go ahead and set it to, just a second here, what speed I'm at, or I can go in and set it to what gear I'm in. I like to set it to what gear I'm in because for whatever reason when I'm driving sometimes I forget what gear I'm in and I need to look around and find it. Anyway, this product has a lot of different options and can help you with setting up various different configurations on your wheel so that you can do many things. I typically leave it pretty close to default, but I do use fan LEDs versus the iRacing product. Just because this gives me so many more options that I can work with on the wheel. I hope this has been informational for you. Continue iRacing, and good luck.